Welcome back. I'm Martin. You know, the Halloween Hangover scoring challenge is still ongoing for 1 day. So if you're really quick, then you still have time to do it. You find the rules in the very first video. And in today's video, I just would like to show you two ways, two routes that you can go if you would like to score a scene, a short movie, or whatsoever within Logic Pro, because you can do it on a musical way, maybe, if you will, without any technical things like the markers, or you can create a beat map and then go precisely, you know, with time synced risers and downers and swells and whatsoever. A big thanks goes to my friend Chris Houston from Implied Music for doing this challenge together. Another big thanks obviously goes to our two sponsors. And one thing from my side, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then please just hit that little subscribe button. It's for free. But I guess you can imagine, the bigger this channel will grow, the easier it will be to find sponsors for the next events. So yeah, just, you know, hit subscribe and then we can do more stuff like this in the future. And let's do this. So let's start with my first entry. I did this 99.9% with Wrong Tools libraries. Wrong Tools, as you know, is our main sponsor for this scoring challenge. And if you don't know their libraries yet, do yourself a favor, especially now during the Black Friday week. Have a look at their libraries. They really add something very, very special to your sonic palette. As you can see, there is no marker, there is no time map, there is no nothing. What I really did with this very first entry, I really started with the Feather Sum Strings, one of my favorite string libraries, and just played in. Obviously, I was a little bit biased because, you know, I recorded that video, I color graded that video, I edited that video, you know, and I had something in mind and I had this story already in mind when I was filming it, you know, like someone going around the house, maybe from the special forces, as there happened something and they have been looking for the girl to then unfortunately at the very end finding it in that locked room. So I knew, you know, a little bit how I wanted the whole story going. And then, yeah, I started with those very cold strings. And then as the first pictures come in, you see, I just started to play in some dissonant chords. Again, the silence as this person continues to walk, and then as, you know, the memories of the whole crime scene come up again, some of those swells and strings and stuff like this. And then I just used ice cold sounds. These really creaky strings, unnerving. There is this really cool snapshot, for example, preset, which is from the flautando, which is really the warmest sound that you can have on strings, moving the mod wheel up to the really ice timbre where they go over the bridge and stuff like this. Wonderful. I do have to have anyhow some driving elements in it. I used longitude, and it's just doing this. It's just doing this. There is no rhythm in it, you know, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4 hit and stuff like this. And then there's the bass marimba. And then there comes again this river of sticks. Then the whole percussion gets a little more intense. And towards the end, I used from longitude here these wonderful rolls on the timpani. Very subtle at the end, you know, very musical even. Then, yeah, there come the cursed clavinet, and they are really creepy. You can tell it even from the color that I've been choosing here in my Logic project. Listen to those sounds. Whoa, you know, this deep breath, this deep, like, should I really continue? Should I really go in there? Then this kind of distorted sting when you see the empty swing, like, whoa, something bad happened. And then those sounds, they just continue. But you see, I couldn't time sync them as I didn't have markers and stuff like this. So I just moved them within the region. I just moved the MIDI events. One thing that I would like to show you, as I couldn't have, you know, risers or stuff like this, I have here this sound which is called the radiator. And what I'm doing here, of course, there are the automation curves with expression modulation and stuff like this, but here I just have the volume dialing in. I just dial in the volume, and it gets more and more and more on your nerves. Then yes, for the jump scare, a good 70s, 80s horror movie jump scare. I think it was nice. Cursed clavinets, very short sounds. Hand to the left and to the right to really have it coming from all sides. And yeah, I used again Nodal, their double bass library, which is so amazing. Here at the beginning, such a creepy sound. And then another rhythmic element on the double bass, which is wow. Yeah, the radiator is still on. And then the only thing that I used, which wasn't from Wrong Tools, was here this girl singing, and at the very end this creepy breath. And that's it. And you see, you can score easily a scene or something like this without markers and beatmaps. Just, you know, by placing the elements and by playing, and then it's even a little more fluid then, if you will. And for sure you won't have too much Mickey Mousing, you know, these beats really on every single movement and stuff like this. Yeah, that was example 1. Let's head over to example 2, a pretty technical score. Now we have a look at my second entry, and that's a completely different take, because here I took a complete technical route, because I was working with Gravity 2, and there you have time synced risers, you do have time synced swells and stuff like this. So I placed markers in that movie, and you can see, you know, there are the markers, and somewhere here there should be a link where I show you how to create those beat maps or time maps or however they are called. And you know, when there's, just to show you where the markers are, there is this first black point, and then there come the first still picture. So I have one exactly here where I just have then, because at the beginning it's just some creepy noises, atonal textures, swells, scoring accents, stuff like this, and then all the time lost. What a wonderful name for a texture. Where the first stills are, there I used those all the time lost texture just doing its thing. This is what the texture is doing. And then I used a scoring accent, and I used an atonal sting where you do see that empty swing. Because that empty swing is an anticipation of, whoa, something terrible happened. Then, you see, I have here rhythm. Rhythm is where then the person walks again around the house, and then yes, I could just use a very rhythmical thing I do have here. You know, the hacking the mainframe is this one called, which is just a dung 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 dung, a pulsing. The good thing is that here, you know, from one to the other marker, as it's precisely 2 bars, I could use a swell which just lasts precisely 2 bars. There's the swell. Off again. And then yes, I continue here again with those pictures where there is the all-time lost texture again. Doing this, and then when the next marker hits, you see there's the black, and then there continues those images of the person walking around the house, then I have again rhythmical stuff happening. And yeah, this is why you need those markers, but you need to be careful with those markers to don't overdo it, because you know, some call it Mickey Mousing, you know, these cartoons like bong bong down, where every movement then has a mark and a hit and something like this. Be a little bit careful to don't overdo it. So you know, the next black picture, the next movement starts, and I just worked with some elements, pitch bending them so you have some creepy noise. Then yes, there is, just to show you a little bit gravity even here. For example, here just this preset, some kind of fear. Then here atonal nightmares even chiming in. Even here just, yeah, just showing some scoring accents that I used from. Then we come to a point where I do have the lock sound. You know, there you can hear how the lock is opened, where I placed some reverb and some delay. And then, as I do have precisely 2 bars, I used here an atonal nightmare sound, and I used a riser, which is precisely 2 bars long. Over at the hit point, at the jump scare, at whatsoever, but then I just have an atonal hit, which I liked a lot because there is this kind of clock that starts to tick at the end. So just to listen to it again. And believe me, it was very quick scoring it with Gravity 2 once the markers have been set and that stuff. But it took me hours, really hours, to go through the over 1000 sounds and the over 600 snapshots to find the sounds that I really liked, that I really wanted to use. And then I have even this at the end, and that's it. That's it. You know, if you work with markers, then you can do stuff like this. And then at the very end, if you have seen the video, you know, during the outro, there's just this going on. Those atonal nightmares. Yeah, even Gravity 2, quite a fantastic library. And that's it from my side for today. I hope that this little tutorial showing you maybe the 2 ways that you could score a scene or a short movie or something like this was useful. There's still 1 day left, so if you're quick, if you're still, you can enter. The rules are in the very first video. Even there should be the link now how you can still enter. Thanks again to Wrong Tools, our main sponsors. Thanks even to Spitfire Audio for sponsoring a copy of Mercury. And really, that's it for today. See you in the next video or in the next live stream. Bye bye.